Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about dividends and what that is. A dividend is a payment made by a corporation to its shareholders, typically in the form of cash or additional shares or stock. Dividends are typically distributed from the company's earnings and are usually paid on a regular basis, such as quarterly or annually depending on what kind of agreement you have. They are a way of company to share the profits with their shareholders. Dividends can be attractive features for investors, especially those seeking to for a source of regular income from the investors. They are common among publicly traded companies, particularly established and mature ones. However, not all companies pay dividends. Some may choose to reinvest their earnings back into the business or growth and expand rather than distribute them to shareholders. If a company is doing very well, depending on what year that is, different companies might have different strategies how they want to approach that. If they many companies, if they would receive any funds coming from government, instead, so they could use those funds to pay off some of the debt that they might have. They want to consider that money that they just received from the government reinvest back into business, or they might consider paying some of the profits to its shareholders. The amount of dividends is typically determined by the company's board of directors, and it's usually based on various factors, including company's financial performance, profitability, and its current and future capital needs. Dividend payments are usually expressed on per share basis, and shareholders receive dividends in proportion to number of shares they own. How many shares you got? If that would be 50, 100, 5,000, 5 million shares. Based on that number, you might receive a certain amount of company profits in the form of dividends. There are some companies who are paying such a large percentage of the overall profits. That's just the business model. They, I don't want to promote those companies, but if you do your own research, there are some companies out there who are paying large percentage, and some pay very little. And instead of the different strategies, right? And instead of paying out dividends, they want to build the company up. Instead of paying out the dividends, they want to build the company up, so they reinvest back into business instead of paying out as the dividends. It's important to note that dividend income may be subject to taxation depending on your country's tax laws and your individual tax circumstances. Additionally, the availability and amount of dividends can fluctuate over time, as they are not guaranteed and depend on the company's financial situation and management decisions. Uh, there's definitely a capital gain tax if you receive capital, there's definitely gonna be a taxation on top of the money gain. Considering company strategy and stability before investing is crucial for making informed investment decisions. Let's take a look some of the key areas that you need to consider when considering overall stability and company strategy before investing. Risk assessment: understanding company's structure allows you to assess its risk profile. For example, a company with a well-defined and proven strategy for growth and profitability may be considered lower risk compared to company with its unclear or unstable strategy. Assessing risk helps you make informed decisions about how much of your portfolio you allocate to particular investment, as well as your overall investment strategy. That would be how much of your portfolio would be and allocated to perhaps long, short and how much risk averse my strategy might be. Long-term viability. Examining a company's strategy can help you gauge its long-term viability. A company with a clear and effective strategy is more likely to navigate economic downturns, industry disruptions, and other challenges successfully. This can be important if you are looking for long-term investments. Uh, Dividend payments. Understanding companies' dividend strategy is crucial if you are seeking income from investors. Companies may have different dividend policies. Some may have a history of consistent dividend payments, while others may prioritize the investing earnings for growth. Assessing companies' approach to dividend helps you to determine if it aligns with your investment goals. Regarding a company's strategy with regards to paying out dividends, let's take a look at some of the key areas that any company can adapt. Dividend payout ratio. Companies often have target dividend payout ratio, which is the percentage of earnings that they distribute as dividends. A higher payout ratio indicates that the company is returning a large percentage of its portfolio to shareholders as dividends. Dividend growth. Some companies aim to increase their dividend payments over time. They may have history of regular increasing dividends, which can be attractive to income-focused investors because it helps protect against the eroding effects of inflation. Steady dividends over companies maintaining consistent dividend payments over time, even if it means slower or no dividend growth. These companies prioritize stability in their dividend payments. No dividends. Some companies, especially newer or growth-oriented ones, may choose not to pay dividends at all. Instead, they reinvest their earnings to fuel expansion and generate future capital gains. Special dividends. Companies may occasionally pay special one-time dividends in addition to their regular dividends. This can happen when they have an exceptionally profitable year or access to surplus cash. It's important to note that a company dividend strategy can change over time based on its financial conditions, growth opportunities, and management decisions. Therefore, it is crucial to stay informed about company's dividend policy and overall strategy. If you are considering in investing in any company, assessing company strategy, financial stability, and dividend policy helps investors make informed decisions that align with their investment goals and risk tolerance. For those of you who perhaps haven't started investing or learning about businesses, I would highly recommend in where to begin and some of the tools that I have developed myself. That would be having grips on overall time and managing your 24 hours to begin with, making most of those 24 hours, and some of the key areas that I'm highlighting in this journal. That would be having three things to do every single day, as well as personal and professional goals, uh, development of skills, physical activity, overall time management, some of the values. If you're struggling with motivation, dictionary, I'm highlighting all those areas in this journal. I would highly recommend for everyone to go to the link in the description. That would go to my company's website. You can purchase the journal there as well as top retailers. Just to summarize, what is dividends and how to structure your own company, or perhaps if you're an investor, how taking a look at different strategies that different companies might have. Just one question: why myself or others wouldn't learn that in school? I would meet sometimes I would meet people who would learn that and has such such a vast knowledge when it comes to investing in different companies. You know, most of the time that will be people based in US. But why would nobody told me or others in school. I believe it's very important lessons to have of how potentially generate uh, to some extent passive income coming in. Either way, that can provide you for your future. It's just strange. Either way, thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Thank you.